Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to EBINOTTI Beauty. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this look right here using full coverage foundation, so let's get right into it. The biggest thing with full coverage using, those really dense foundations is blending. So I'm going to show you guys all of the tips and tricks that I use to go from, when I'm not feeling that great and I want a little more coverage. And this is how we get into it. Most important thing is moisturizing. Make sure you're fully moisturized before you start. And then primer. I love to use this men's aftershave balm as my primer. I think it just works so great. It's obviously skin type preference, so do keep that in mind. I'm pretty much normal, sort of dry, so maybe combination, but definitely not oily. I also like using this balm. It gives a little bit of extra moisture in the winter time in sort of my trouble zones around my eyes, forehead, around the mouth, that kind of thing. Great for highlighting too, like the tip of the nose. So I just like to press that in with my fingers in those places to kind of make everything more malleable. It gives it a chance to kind of set into the skin, and then because that's so wet, I give it just a couple minutes before I jump into foundation. So Wet n Wild and Catrice. I'm mostly mixing the Catrice into this Wet n Wild because the Wet n Wild is way too light for me, and the Catrice has, again, matching the coverage, full coverage. I feel like the Wet n Wild isn't that full coverage, but because the shade that I chose was so pale, it gives me the full coverage look I'm looking for. So definitely buildable if you've got any kind of texture, redness, or anything on the face. It's buildable. I don't use this in as full coverage as you could make it, like my beauty marks and things like that still show, so keep that in mind. I love using sponges to blend out my foundation. It's everything. It's the most important tool in makeup, I'd say, if you have any trouble, because brushes, you really have to have technique, whereas a sponge, you just have to take your time. You have to press it in, you have to blend it around, make sure it's not patchy anywhere. So it's one of the biggest things, guys, is really taking the time to blend in your foundation. I'm going to use some cream products today and bring some color back into the face with this Wet n Wild contour stick. I love it. I think it's Chestnut or Walnut. I can't remember. It's one of those two of the darkest shades of these Wet n Wild contour sticks. So this is all the places I like to contour. I put it on the face with this product right away and then go in with a brush, only because it doesn't dry very quickly. If you're using a different contour stick, go section by section with your brush or sponge, whatever you're using to blend it out, because a lot of contour sticks are not as creamy as this one. So this one really gives you a lot of time to work with it, to move it around. The heat of your face will make it more malleable. So getting the right products for you is really, really important. If something doesn't work for you, don't assume it's you, assume it's the product, okay? Like, work on techniques, try out different products. For me, this combination is brilliant. There's another full coverage foundation that I really like too, and what is it called? The Infallible. The L'Oreal Infallible line. Everyone knows that one. If you're big on drugstore makeup, you know it. If not, it's a great line to try out. They do have the dewy and the matte, so if you're dry or you're oily, if you don't know about that stuff, ask the people. Like, the people in the drugstore will tell you. They know that stuff. Or watch my videos, because I will tell you. So just showing you guys how I blend out all of that contour stick. This is a really important process, because it's not so important that you get the lines perfect and that everything is perfectly blended, because you're going to layer all your powders and your actual bronzers and blushes on top of it. But this makes a huge difference if you want to, like what I'm doing here, more so than contouring my face and trying to create shapes that I don't have. I'm trying to bring my natural features to the foreground. So I used a really light foundation, and now I'm bringing all of my natural color back into it. At the end of this stage is one of my favorite looks ever, like the dewy, glowy, look at that. It's like bronze goddess. If you don't have any lines or you don't need to set your face, like, you could almost just leave this as it is and it would be stunning for a no makeup look. For me, I'm going all out. I like to set it. I like my powders. I like that shit to stay where it is for like 8-12 hours, however long I'm going to be wearing it. I want it to look the same. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. Full coverage, non-cakey, wearable fucking makeup. You know what I'm saying? So this is pretty much the end of blending. I'm checking everything out. I'm following certain lines in my face because I like the way that looks and I want to bring it out. I mean, it's pretty simple when you really get down to it. It's just there's certain key things you want to look at. Next, I'm going to layer a creamy blush. I've been doing this a little bit lately. It's not my favorite thing. This one's really nice if you're not doing powders. If you are doing powders, you just really have to make sure you set it because it's so wet. Especially this product here. There's another one from Quo, or the QUO brand that's in Shoppers in Canada. They just came out with some new ones that I really want to try because I think they'll be better than this one's like a balm. It's like it gets wet when the heat of your finger and your face heats it up. So just pressing it out with that sponge, making sure everything's blended. Pause for coffee. Next, we're going into concealer. This is a classic, a ride or die. This is the Age Rewind by Maybelline. If you don't know it, now you do. It's the best concealer. It's just one of the best concealers at the price point on the market. Just adding a little bit in here because that foundation was so full coverage and I took it under the eye and over the eye to prep for eyeshadow. I don't need a ton of concealer still. So just using a little bit, mostly to highlight, to add just a tiny bit of coverage because I do have really dark circles under my eyes since I was a kid. Direct lighting here is something we need to talk about too because I am in direct lighting right now, but you won't be. So when you look at your face in the mirror, it's not going to look as like bright and flawless as mine does right now. Like I wish I could show you guys. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see pictures of my face. I don't filter any of that stuff because I want you guys to see it. But you'll see pictures of my face, the fine lines. Like I really try to show you where it does settle into your fine lines, but you can make it not look horrendous. You know what I mean? There's ways to make your face just look nice. It's skin, it creases, you know what I mean? When you smile, when you make expressions. So that's what I go for, is makeup that looks really nice in real life. So some new baking powder. This is Makeup Revolution's banana powder that I'm using to bake. Then we're going to use the Lace Beauty powder all over the face. I don't want to use the banana powder. It's way too light. It's way too yellow for me all over the face. So it's just in those places that we put concealer to really brighten, bring forward. Also, I only bake, meaning put a shit ton of this powder, just press it in the places like around my mouth, under my eyes, around my nose, and the center of my forehead. That's where I crease, where I need highlight and a little extra coverage. So this powder is amazing for adding a little bit of coverage, and it's so beautiful when it sets. For the price, like I still haven't tried the RCMA powder, that white one that comes in like the spice container looking thing. I still haven't tried that, but I've tried literally everything else at this price point, and this is one of my favorite powders. This and the Maybelline Fit Me. Either of those are going to do everything you need and not look like garbage. You know what I mean? You don't want to just grab whatever powder's on sale because that's the thing that makes the difference. You can have all the technique in the world. If you're using the wrong product, you are using the wrong product. Moving over to a fluffier brush. The first one I was using was Kabuki. It was really dense. It helps me just push the powder onto my face. This one, I just want to cut that jawline out a little bit, clean up the bronzer, and just this is where I'm kind of contouring, I guess you could say, because I really want to bring my jawline forward. And then, you know, just smoothing out other areas before we go in with that lace powder and set it. So nice big fluffy brush. If you guys are curious, all the brushes I use are linked down below. Products are always listed. I try to throw in the links. I'm Canadian, so they're Canadian links, guys. But if the links aren't there, just copy the product name and drop it into your Amazon or Ulta or wherever you're shopping online. All the brushes, yeah, I'll link those down below this time for sure. I get my brushes from BH Cosmetics because they're pretty much like the Morphe of Canada, if you know Morphe products. Really good price point, great quality products. I really like BH, actually. This year, one thing I'm going to do is start buying more of their products and just seeing kind of what else they're doing. I got into them because they collaborated with Carly Bible, and that was the first eyeshadow palette I ever bought, was her original one. So when I bought her palette, and then I went back like a couple months later and I bought some lipsticks from there, and I still love them. They're still some of my favorite lipsticks in my collection, like a dark purple one, so money. So if you're Canadian, you don't know BH Cosmetics, I would highly recommend checking them out because they really are like Morphe. Their palettes are stunning. They look just the same, and that whole thing. So now that everything is looking set, the face is looking nice, I have to take the foundation off my lips. I have small lips as it is. I cannot stand when they're like blanked out. So that's why I put that lip chap on in the beginning, so it's easy to wipe all the foundation off and then put lip gloss on as soon as I'm done setting the face. Now we have ourselves a beautiful little base. From here you can do anything, any style, and really kind of, you know, decide what you're going to do. A lot of people do their eyes first. I've always done my face first because I really like to have this moment where I can look and be like, okay, now what kind of fucking mood am I in? Sometimes I can throw just like a shimmer in the inner corner and some eyeshadow on and be done with it. Other times I do like a whole smoke and it literally just looks like daytime. It looks like a daytime look. It doesn't even look like anything. You know, meanwhile I sit there for like an hour blending out eyeshadows. So going into bronzer, we're going to bronze up the rest of the face. I forgot that I didn't do this. I wasn't really watching. I was just talking to you guys, you know. But I think actually when I was recording, I did the same thing because I always pause and have like smoke breaks or go get more coffee or something like that. Get into a conversation with my boyfriend, something like that. So I forgot that I didn't do my bronzer and I almost moved on. Sorry if you just heard my nail tapping on the screen. And the boyfriend's about to walk in, so you're going to hear the door open in like 2 seconds too. It's real professional around here. No, I try to keep this like really straight up and honest with you guys because I am just a person just doing makeup like the rest of you, learning as I go and practicing. So mostly that's what it's all about. You know, if you can get that down, that there's always a way to make it work. Like I don't need full coverage, but I do like it sometimes. Like every once in a while, I just want that. I want that clean slate, you know? So that's pretty much the base. If you guys came for just the skin, then that's pretty much the gist of it. We're going to add blush. We're going to add highlighter. This is how you get that glow. These Milani blushes too, I wanted to try for a long time, the rose blushes, and they're so great because they're not too pigmented. So you can really build them up. And I like that. And then this Wet n Wild, the Precious Petals. I mean, I wanted to try this forever. And I finally got a chance to. The only thing I would say, do be careful if you have textured cheeks or any kind of texture on your cheeks because this stuff is super metallic-y. Like I'm going to show you guys how much I work with this product when I put it on the face and how much I blend it in because it's like, I don't know, it gets that sort of metallic-y cheek if you don't blend it like really. It looks amazing, stunning in pictures, stunning on camera. You cannot fucking go wrong with this one on camera, but in real life, like when someone's standing beside you and there's light on your cheek, you don't want it to look like powdery metal. Like that is not fucking cute. So be careful with this one if you get it. The Madison Beer palette collaboration with Morphe. I want to fucking love this palette. You know what I mean? It's a friend got it for me for Christmas. I mean, so grateful for that. It's bomb. But there's a few things about it that I am fucking not loving lately. The color tones I think are great. Every eyeshadow choice in here I think was a good choice. It's just the quality does not hold up for me long term, so I don't recommend buying this palette. If you have it or you just whatever like to blow your money on palettes, then grab it. It's a fun one. But going in with Jericho, we're just doing some transition color, just getting started. And then we're going to go into a bit of a deeper color and kind of add some drama and smoke to the outer portion of the eye, so really just kind of keeping it tight in that outer corner for a second. And then this color, Emotional Bruises, we're going to mix those two together, again just to add a little bit more depth and then blend everything around. Also, the browns aren't very neutral in this palette, so I like to use that color Emotional Bruises because it neutralizes everything. And for me, I don't always want warm. I don't always like warm toned browns. You know what I mean? Like the reds, the oranges, the browns. I'm not always into that. For the most part, I want something way more fucking neutral. So these two layered, I find so stunning. They look great on camera, but you got to see them in real life. Like if you have them, mix them together. They look so good. We're going to go under the eye now. Just do a little bit of contouring there. I use this sort of like round fluffy brush, which it fits so perfectly like in the little crease under my eye, you know? If you can get a brush that like just gets in there, I don't know. Not everybody needs to put eyeshadow under their eyes, but if you're getting creases under there or you just don't like the shape of your eye under there, oh my God. Get a nice little round fluffy brush and it will change your makeup game because it makes things so much easier. Adding some of this Babe color, which I love so much. This is definitely a save in the palette. The True Black, which is fucking stunning quality. The black in this palette is amazing. And then this shimmer shade, I mean, these two and the transition shade kind of save the palette for me, because the rest is like, you don't need those to be good. You just hope that they're fucking good. This little one, oh god, I wanted to love this one. The glitter in this color, in this eyeshadow, is stunning. I love it. The glitter is so pretty. But there's no payoff. It's like there's no eyeshadow in there whatsoever. So layering it on top of the other one looks nice. But as soon as you pick it up on your brush, you know, you expect like eyeshadow to come off. It doesn't. It's just like little tiny pieces of glitter, and that's it. So, you know, it's pretty. It looks really nice as a highlighter on the tip of the nose and the lip. And I like to bring it under my eye too. Did you guys see me doing that? That's one of my biggest tricks. It brings so much, like, I don't know, it just looks really pretty. Going into the darkest shade now, I'm going to use this to try and build a bit of a wing. I don't really want like a huge wing. I just want a little something to shape the eye. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. I got this MAC brush, oh my god, so many fucking years ago now. And so I can't remember the number on it because it's all rubbed off. But MAC's got some really, really good like thin angle brushes. I am going to layer black in here. I couldn't remember if I did or not, but yes, we're layering some black. That brown did not have the payoff that I was looking for, and I'm just not in the mood, again, for a warm tone right now. So the black in this palette is stunning. I'm glad that I'm going to show you guys a little bit of it so you can see. But yeah, back to the brushes. MAC's got some really great angled brushes if you, like, if you suck at doing wings. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're using gel pots, liquids, shadows, whatever. If you struggle with doing wings, getting a good brush or changing the brush that you're used to using, like felt tip liner is probably one of the hardest things to do wings with, depending on your eye shape. Liquid liners like the NYC, the NYX ones, those are probably the easiest. Angle brushes are for like people that either have mad skills or people that can't use any of the other stuff. For me, like, it's not that I had mad skills in the beginning with wings, I really didn't, but a little gel pot eyeliner and then an angled brush was the thing that kind of got me there. So give that a go if you're struggling. I've been loving this combination for brows lately, the Maybelline Tattoo Studio, and then of course just like any brow gel really. I'm using the Essence one right now. Also the Fenty Gloss Bomb. Can we just take a moment, because goddamn, it's my favorite lip gloss of life. This is literally lip liner and lip gloss. It's the right color. It's my lip color and I live for it. Also, it smells amazing. It's not sticky, and I'm sorry guys. And it's worth every penny. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is kind of like my go-to everyday look. It's a little smokier and there's wings and all that, and I don't always put all that effort in, but full coverage, non-cakey. It will last you all day long. If you need to go long term in like a really simple kind of look, this is how you do it. Follow me, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can subscribe here on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram. I've got the beauty account at EBINOTTIbeauty. You can check me out there. I'll have a lot more content coming out. I've got try-on hauls and all that good stuff coming for you guys, so stay tuned. Love you so much. Thanks for stopping by.